Good morning everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel Leaf Classes. I am Anjali. Today we begin with a new topic, that is functions. In Java, this is also known as methods. This topic is there in class 10th ICSE only. It is not present in 9th class. Okay. So let's start. A group of statements or instructions written to perform a particular task is known as function, right? In Java we have two types of functions. First is inbuilt function, or you can say the predefined functions. The second category is user-defined functions. User-defined functions. Till now we have done inbuilt or predefined functions. These functions are available with the software, with Java language. Say you have done mathematical functions, say you have math.sqrt function, you have for strings you have say caret function. Now how these functions work? You give a value to these functions and they give you one result. You give some values in the form of arguments or some parameter, and it gives you the result depending upon the function which you are using. Say if I want to use sqrt function, I write math.sqrt of 16.0. So 16.0 is the value, and what result it is giving me? It is giving me 4.0. So we are giving a value to it and it is giving us the output. Now how it is doing, what it is doing, that is written with the software in which we are working. Say in this case we are working in Java. So sqrt function is a predefined. The definition of this function is already there. We are not writing the definition. We are just providing the argument, and depending upon that argument, it is giving us the result. Similarly, if we write caret function, if I write say computer dot caret of 2. So it is giving me the answer as small m. Now caret function, we know that it extracts the character at the given index number. So here what I am giving? The string and the index number. Now these two values I am giving, and it is giving me the result based on those two values. If the arguments differ, the value will differ, right? Now we come to user-defined function. In this, the definition is also given by the user, by the programmer. Okay. So when we write user-defined function, what values we want to give to the function, what will be the output, that also we have to mention in the definition. Till now you have done only one function, that is the main function. Within class you have written only main function, but you know that in one class we can have more than one functions also, right? So other than main, all the functions which we are writing are known as user-defined functions. Okay. So in user-defined function, suppose I want to create a function for calculation of area of a square, right? So if I write the name as area, and I want to give the side value to this side of a square, and it calculates the area and gives the result, then this is a user-defined function, because we don't have any such function in the language which will calculate the area of a square. So what I am giving to this side, what it is returning to me, that is area. Now suppose that area I want in double. So this is the return type, right? So here this is the function name, this is the argument which we are using for writing the definition. Now we will do user defined function. I will explain you all the points one by one. We start with defining a method. Let's see how to do that. First is access specifier, then return type, method name and the parameter list, and this is your first line of the function definition. This is how you give, and then the function body is written within the parenthesis. So here the access specifier can be public, private or protected. Now depending upon what we are writing, it decides the scope of its usage. Like we write when main function public static void main. So public tells that this particular function can be accessed even outside that particular class, even from the external sources also using different objects. Then you have the return type. Return type, what that function will give you, which value, that the type of that value is the return type, right? Like if we take the examples of predefined function and I am using math.sqrt, that will always give me the value in double type. So double is the return type of math.sqrt. If I take caret function, that function always gives me char value. Substring function gives me a string value. So what is the return value? According to that we write the return type. It can be int, char, float, double, anything, even boolean also. Then the method name, the function name is the method name, and then the parameter list, the values which you give to the function. Say if predefined example, again I am taking, say if math.sqrt, you write one integer, one double or integer or float value you give. So that is the parameter which you are passing to that function, and depending upon the value which you have passed on, it gives you an answer. So here also parameter list we write here, but here we always write the parameter list along with the data type of that value. It can be from 0 to n number of values which you can give. We can have a function without any parameter also. We can give one parameter, two parameters. Depending upon the requirement, we write the number of parameters along with the data type. Then within the braces you write the steps, the instructions, what you want to execute when this particular function is called, right? And then you come out with a return value. Now let's take one example of this. Say if it is public. Now this public, whenever we use this access specifier, public is by default. Even if I don't write any access specifier, then also it is taken as public. So you write public or you don't write public, both are equally same. Okay. Now after this we give the return type. Suppose I want to calculate the area of a rectangle, and for that I am giving two parameters to that, length and breadth. So I am giving L and B. In this I want to use length and breadth. Double value is of L also and B is also of double type. So this is your parameter list. The function name is area. Return type is double. After calculation I want that this function should give me a double value, and this is the access specifier. Now body of this function, what you can write here, say double A equals to L into B, and you are writing return A, right? So this is how we define a function. access specifier, return type, function name and the parameter list. In each you have to specify the data type. Even if we write 10 values of the same data type, then also with all those 10 variables you have to mention the data type. Like here I have used L and B, both belongs to double, but then also I have written double L comma double B. I cannot write double L comma B, that will be wrong, okay. So, and the function definition is written within the curly braces. The last line should be return statement. Return statement in which case? When you are writing a data type here, okay. Considering the same example which I gave you just now, I'll be explaining you the different components of the function. Whenever I say function, function means method only. So there are two words for the same thing, function or method. So components of a method are header, the first line which we write in the function definition, that is known as header or method prototype or function prototype. This question is asked in the exam also. Write the function prototype for the following, and statement is given and you have to write the function header for that, okay. So the function header in the example we took is public double the function name and the parameter list along with the variable names. Then we come to function signature. This includes the function name and the variables which are used in function calling. Then the access specifier, that I told you, public, private, protected, whichever you are giving. If you are not mentioning, then it is public by default. Then the method block, whatever we put within the curly braces, that is the body of the function, or it is also known as method block, and the last statement before the closing braces is the return statement, okay. Now we do few features of the return statement. The features of return, first is it is given at the end of the method block. Where we close the block, there only the last statement should be the return statement. You cannot give the return statement in the beginning. If you will give, that will be the last statement to execute. After that, no other statement will be executed from your method block. No statement in the method body can be executed once you have given return statement. Once return statement is executed, after that you give 10 statements, those will not execute. A method can return only one value to its caller. This is very important. This is asked in exam also. A method is calculating area and perimeter of a square and how many return values it will give you. A method will always return one value. It cannot return more than one value. So always one value to its caller. Caller means जो function इस मेथड को कॉल कर रहा है, that is the caller function, and where you are writing the method definition, this is your called function, right? In case of more than one return statement, in case if I write, there is no compulsion, I can write as many statements as I want. So in case you are writing more than one return statement in your method body, then only the first one will be executed. Like suppose if I write here, I am calculating double A equals to S into S, then double P equals to 4 into S, and then I am writing return A and return P. Now although I have given these two statements, but only the first one will be executed, right? Now this, when you are writing return A, you can write like this: return A or A within bracket, both are correct. There is no error in this. So sometimes if you find the error and you have prepared according to this and it is asked like this, you write that it is a mistake, it is error over here. No, both the writing patterns are correct. After return, you give a space, put the return variable in brackets, or directly without brackets, directly you can write the value. Okay. Now suppose if you have more than one termination point. Now like suppose depending upon some if condition we want to return a value. Then if you write if A is greater than B, return A, else return B. Now this is correct, there is no error in this, but only one return will be executed. If this condition is true, the first return will be executed. If this condition is false, the second return will be executed. But in any case, more than one return statement cannot be executed. I hope the features of return statement is clear to you. Any doubt, please do comment in the comment section. Now we move on to invoking a method, or it is also known as calling a method. That means we want to execute the body of the function which we have written. So how to call that? Now for doing this, in the class we have to write one main function and one more function at least, that is the user defined function, for which we have given the definition. Okay. So I am taking here again the same example so that it will be more clear to you. So since I will be entering few values, so I have used import statement, import java.util, then class, and first I have written the function definition for calculation of area, the same which we took just now, public double area double L comma double B for calculation of the area of the rectangle, and it will return double value, and here in the function body we have calculated the result in one variable of double type and return A. Now always whenever you are doing so, please check that the return value which you have specified here, return type is double, so the data type of the return variable also has to be double. These two should match. Okay. Now this function is over here. Then we come to the main function. Through main function we are calling the area function. For that, since I will be using scanner object, so I have created the scanner object. Then I have entered length and breadth of the rectangle in L and B variables of double type. Now since it is static method, static before the function name indicates that this method can be executed without creating of the object when you execute the program. Now if you remember, when you execute the main method, you right click and you select the option where main is written, and you don't create any object, or directly it is executed, right? So that is the function of static. Static means the function can be executed without creation of its object. So this main method is static, but here I have not used static, right? So if I have not used static word before the function name, that means that I have to create the object of that function. The syntax for creating object of any class is class name space object name equals to new class name. Your class name is exam, object name any user defined name I have taken OB equals to new class name and opening and closing bracket. This we have done in class 9th also, how to create the object of the given class. The syntax is class name space object name equals to new class name. Now when we want to access any function of the class, then we cannot call that function directly. We have to call that function using object only. For that purpose, variables. First we have created the object, and then how you will call the function? Object name dot function name. Object name is OB, I have taken here. Area is the function name. This area I have taken here. Area is the function name. Now it is expecting two values both of double type, and here I have given two values L and B of double type. So when you will execute this statement, the program control will be shifted here. The first value will go to first variable, second value will go to second variable. The function body will be executed and return statement will come with a value, and that value will be placed over here, and in AR variable you will get the value, what value is calculated, what value is returned with area function, and in double AR I have stored that, and after that you will print the area is AR. Now few things which you have to keep in mind are that the return type of this should match with this. Area function, what is the return type? Double. Now this return variable and type of this should match. Now when you are storing the value of this in one variable, the type of that variable should be also same as the return type from here, right? So these things you have to keep in mind. Now the variables which we are sending to the function. Now this function is the called function, the function which is being called, and main function is the caller function, right? हम किस फंक्शन से बुला रहे हैं? मेन फंक्शन से. सो मेन फंक्शन इज द कॉलर फंक्शन. किस फंक्शन को कॉल कर रहे हैं? एरिया फंक्शन को. सो दिस इज द कॉल्ड फंक्शन. नाउ हियर वी हैव यूज्ड इन कॉलिंग L and B, and here also I have used L and B. It can be different also, it can be same. The values which you give in the caller function, these are known as actual parameters. These are known as actual parameters, and these are known as formal parameters. Formal parameters. जो कॉल्ड फंक्शन में, जो यूजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन में पैरामीटर्स यूज करेंगे उनको बोलेंगे फॉर्मल पैरामीटर्स, और जो कॉलर्स में जो हम कॉल करते टाइम जो पैरामीटर्स देंगे, दोज पैरामीटर्स आर नोन एज एक्चुअल पैरामीटर्स. So all these common definitions, common terms which are used here, I have given in the PDF. The link is there in the description box. You can download the PDF and go through all these definitions of the user defined functions terms. Okay. Now I have not mentioned static here, and here it is static. So we are not creating the object of main while calling. But since it is not static, so we have to create the object of the class where we have given this function. Now you will say we can write it static. Yes, we can write it static. Now if I change the function prototype from this to this, here if I have written public static double area double L comma B, rest everything is same, only I have included this static word here. Rest everything will remain same, the definition, the method block will remain same. And now if we come to main function, since I have written here static, so there is no need of creating the method, creating the object of the given function, given class. So here if I don't write this, now it is not required that you create the object of the given class where you have used this function. So directly I can execute the function like this, double AR equals to area L comma B, without taking the object. Now here object is not required, right? So I hope the difference between static and non-static before the function name is clear. If we write static before the function name, that means there is no need of creation of the object of the given class where that function is written, right? And if we don't write static, that means we have to create the object for the execution of the function. There are different ways of defining a function. Few function may return a value, few function may not return a value. Few function take some parameter, few function does not take any parameter. So if we categorize, we have 4 different categories. First way is receiving values and returning outcome to the caller. The function which we are writing, it is receiving values also and it is returning some value to the caller function. The second is receiving values but it is not returning any outcome to the caller function. So these two are categorized under parameterized functions. Parameterized means where the parameters are there, it expects some parameters. And then the second category is of non-parameterized function. In this we have neither receiving the value nor returning outcome to the caller function. Caller function से ना ही ये कोई value ले रहा है और ना ही कुछ answer उसको कुछ return दे रहा है. Whatever is the function body, that is executed. And the second is not receiving any values but it is returning some value to the caller functions. So in next videos we will be doing the programs based on these. These are very important. At least one question from this comes in exams, and I hope whatever I have explained to you today is clear to each one of you, and the important terms are there in the PDF which is there in the description box. The link is present. You can download and prepare all those, and just watch this video once, twice to understand the concept of user defined functions, so that when we start with the programming, every concept should be there in your mind that how we are proceeding with it. Okay, so all the best to all of you. Those who are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you get notifications for all the videos and no important topic is missed by you. Till then, keep practicing, keep working hard, keep doing. God bless you.